Surely, you've noticed an interesting movement that's taking place in the world today. Things are occurring that, back when political correctness first arrived online, would have been inconceivable. However, these things are now happening. There was a time when discussing the red pill gave off the impression of breaking the law, but things appear to have shifted. Take Andrew Tate for example, who rose to fame in a very short amount of time. There are obviously a lot of guys who are into the message and agree with what it has to say, as this is evident. A fan base of this magnitude does not just materialize out of thin air. That is something that can only be accomplished by drawing on the support of a movement that is already well established, and by the grace of God, the number of red pillars is already in the millions. It is patently obvious that Andrew Tate is no longer on his own. Men such as Imam Ghazi and Hamza, in addition to a good number of the gurus, are becoming more outspoken about the disparities that exist between the sexes. To put it another way, they are concepts that wise people from the past never would have considered. It's not the same as it was before. In recent years, the red pill movement has gained significant popularity as a result of being picked up on the internet, and an increasing number of men are adopting the movement's ideas. If you have taken the red pill before, you are aware that this outcome was predetermined. I'll go over the reasons why the red pill movement has been so popular around the world, but that's mostly for the benefit of newcomers and people who only casually follow the cause. The first one is completely new to me. I've never heard anyone else defend that point before, but I can see why it might be correct. In the past, the red pill was something that could only be found in obscure corners of the internet due to the fact that it was primarily a Western movement. However, now that internet access is more readily available in more places around the world, more and more men from a variety of backgrounds are becoming aware of the red pill. In my view, they have been of tremendous assistance to the red pill movement that has emerged in the new millennium. It was only the wealthy who could afford to purchase a computer or a telephone in nations that were not part of the Western world. Men from a wide variety of walks of life are starting to join us. Due to the fact that they began at the bottom, these fellas understand the message that the movement is trying to convey. They probably feel a connection to the movement because they did not come from a family of privilege and wealth. This, in conjunction with the fact that people in developing nations are, on average, less feminist crazy than those living in developed nations, indicates that they are likely to agree with the message that we are trying to convey. However, even if we disregard this factor, the persuasive power of the red pill's message will continue to be the fundamental factor behind its widespread acceptance. This detailed guide will make complete and total sense to a good number of men. This is a movement that is grounded in the actual world. Extensive research in the field, as well as recent discoveries in evolutionary biology and the nature of the human experience, form the foundation of the entire thing. This has nothing in common with feminism, transgender rights, or any of the other modern political movements that have emerged in recent decades. This must be the case since it is dictated by logic. It is not attempting to guide us toward a destination that runs counter to our basic nature as a species, and it is approachable enough to the general public that it may provide light on why so many social and cultural movements in today's world are centered on women and girls. Even within the pursuits and pastimes that men have developed specifically for themselves, women have traditionally held the majority of leadership roles. It is completely devoid of any type of masculinity. Watching shows, playing games, or reading books are all good options for ways to pass the time. These are decidedly not designed for men. Although there is nothing inherently wrong with them, conventionally speaking, men did not spend all of their spare time doing things like that. Men are identified by their fearlessness and ability to operate in a group. They have an insatiable appetite for building empires. These are fundamental aspects of society that are currently lacking in our environment. You won't discover any solitary men who can serve as a straightforward example of macho power almost anywhere you go. There aren't enough of them around. Men like him would populate the streets of whatever town that you went to. Your grandfather, Denali, was most likely to have been one of these other males. Despite the fact that their guidance should have held greater weight due to the fact that they had lived longer and accumulated more experience, there were no such teachers to be found in any of the classrooms. On the left, there are intellectual counselors and physical education teachers who, when they're not spending all day reading or writing papers, are unable to run a mile. These people have no chance. They are not encouraged to pick up any constructive behaviors along the way, and almost no effort is made into helping young men make the transition from boy to man. Almost no effort is put into helping young men make the transition from boy to man. Mentoring younger guys can be just as educational for older men as it is for them. There are a lot of elderly males who appear to be lost and wandering around. There are some men who are stuck in relationships that they no longer want. After witnessing a guy break down in front of his fiancée, she decided to quit their relationship. He is upset, angry, and perplexed because he believes the woman he's been dating for the past 3 years has deceived him. Then there are the veterans whose partners have used up their whole retirement fund on their service. As they dwell in a dilapidated apartment complex, they are undoubtedly wondering what happened to their life. The red pill is the center of attention for all of these guys. It combines the roles of man's best friend and most trusted advisor in the 21st century. Men who have seen the world as it really is, who are aware of what women are like in today's society and the legal system, and who want to share this knowledge with younger men do so here. However, they also want younger men to learn to love and celebrate their manhood. Men who have seen the world as it really is, who are aware of what women are like in today's society and the legal system, and who want to share this knowledge with younger men. This is something that every young man deep down wants, but very few actually know how to get it. Even though he has been taught that being aggressive and sexually confident in today's culture is harmful, he still desires a secure environment in which he may display his characteristics. If he swallows the red pill, he will acquire the knowledge necessary to complete the task. It will encourage him to break out from his routine and begin looking after himself by lifting weights. You have better things to do than waste time glancing at women. You should focus on the tasks at hand. After he's finished with all of that, he'll be ready to find out the real deal when it comes to ladies. There is no reason to worry him or make him feel uncomfortable about women in any way. We want him to understand that this is the truth, regardless of what the ladies may think or say about it. You can expect nothing less than this kind of honest treatment from them. This is how she will evaluate you in her personal record book. If you want to have any kind of lasting success with women, you should learn what women truly want so that you don't end up like one of those guys who was burned by a woman after they were already in a committed relationship. This is the reality, so if you want to have any kind of success with women at all, you should learn what women truly want. Taking the red pill gives people the ability to assert their control in a relationship and, in a way, embrace the more male aspect of themselves. We are guiding guys toward realizing their full potential and teaching them how to make the most of the skills they already possess in order to accomplish this. This is the target for the short term. It is also vital to educate people on matters such as the laws governing divorce, harassment lawsuits, rape accusations, and jail time. This is especially important until we build a huge following. It is imperative that every guy be aware of these things in order to protect himself from falling prey to them. The legal process is plagued with conflicts of interest. The value of a woman's opinion is higher than that of a man's. A man's reputation and profession can be ruined in an instant by a woman's single act of adultery or one false claim of cheating on him. She will destroy not only his emotional well-being but also his financial situation, leaving him homeless. These are the genuine accounts of real men's experiences. We ask that you exercise caution until such time as we have collected such a vast following that we command a political majority. Our goal is to shock men into realizing that this can happen to them as well. It is of the utmost importance to educate men about the realities of the world. We will be sharing this information in order to offer men an understanding of how the world actually functions and of the challenges that are present in the world as it is today. Today's version of the social media network Twitter is quite receptive to any attempt to normalize what would otherwise be extraordinary occurrences. In the midst of all of this insanity, it is impossible to tell what constitutes normal behavior, but you can always count on the red pill to lead you in the correct direction. There is almost always a rational justification for everything that appears to be out of the ordinary. The immorality that can be found on the internet has been given a bad reputation for a reason, but if the general population does not understand why this is the case, the reputation will only get worse. You should, and so should every other young guy who wants to better himself and honor the heritage that his family has left behind in this world. This is especially true given that a video of this logic and reason is available online for free and is not difficult to locate. It shouldn't come as a surprise that its popularity is on the rise. Therefore, let's make a wish and keep our fingers crossed that the red pill will be taken seriously in the upcoming conversations. There is yet a possibility for us to make a difference and save the West from the insanity of the present by seizing this opportunity while we still have it. I hope you'll acknowledge how much I appreciate your assistance.